So I thought I'd do a quick update with the property, answer a couple more questions. I had people asking how I'm living for the last couple of months, being off grid, not having power, all that stuff. So I'm going to share a little bit of that. Also, we do have a couple different updates. And I got alert that the freight is scheduled and the house is supposed to be here next week. So we're hoping that things are getting going. We just hit the rainy season. We're getting a ton of rain now. So that's also been pretty fun. I definitely need to get this grill put back away before it starts raining again. But let me go ahead and I'm going to take you down the hill real quick. I'm going to show you what we've done so far or what the contractors did. I mentioned before they had to carve out some of the hill. I'm going to show what they did there. And we just got the inspection yesterday for draws. That way some more stuff can get going. And hopefully my home is going to be done very, very quickly. It kind of sucks living in an RV in this kind of weather. Now, something that I also did yesterday is I spread mulch all the way down to the gravel, like 600 feet. And I was just trying to reduce some of the mud and some of the slippage. It was just a temporary thing. I don't have 25 grand to put asphalt up here. But it did actually help quite a bit because this was all muddy. Now let's go ahead and go down the hill and I'll show you the updates down there. And it really didn't work that well when it comes to the vehicle. It just slid it pretty much right neck down, but I tried. And then I showed in the previous video where the concrete pad was done. It's now been cured and dried for a couple of weeks. And then in the previous video, I mentioned that we had to carve this hill. And we've carved it back, I would say about 6 feet in to make it a lot wider in order for the home to get up here, especially around this bend here. And this grade, we have to bring in a dozer as well to help assist it upwards because it is a really steep grade and the gravel is loose. And it's not, and the only way it would make it a little easier is if we did concrete or asphalt, and I don't have the budget for that, so we're sticking with gravel for now. It's actually getting a lot easier to go up and down these hills too. This is my gym these days. All right, so I'll take you back up the hill, and then I'll answer some of those other questions about how I'm managing things and how we're living. And before we run up the hill, I did start working on this stuff again too. These vines are a lot of work to get cut back. And just my luck, it started raining again. I am filming on my iPhone today, just because I don't want to bring my camera out in this weather. Now, some of the biggest questions that I do get is how do I power things out here? And I've shared a couple power stations that I use on my other channel for a lot of this stuff. My truck has a 7.2 kilowatt onboard generator, which has come in use every single day for the last couple of months. I have a couple of the 110 cords running power stations, and then I have my 30 amp running the trailer. And when there is actually sun, I do have some solar to kind of help a little bit. I also have a new 200 watt panel I need to play with too. Now, when it comes to running different equipment, whether it's the refrigerator, because I do use an upright full-size refrigerator now, and powering my Starlink 24/7. I have this large power station. I shared this a couple times on my other channel. This has been a really awesome power station. It's been my favorite one, the best one I've ever owned. And it can actually run the fridge, the Starlink, everything, pretty much all day and all night. I have to charge it in the morning and I do have to charge it at night. And I do have two 100 watt solar panels. It does help. And if there's enough sun, they actually keep it topped off throughout the entire day because I get about 150 watts out of it when it's sunny. Now, one of the other big questions I get is about sewage because, well, that's a fun one to do too. And that's where this big tote comes in. I can get it filled up and then I can haul it off. It is a pain in the butt, but it works. And this was actually a pretty good investment. I think this one is 37 gallons, 36 gallons. So it will hold most black tanks, especially mine. Mine's only like a 27 gallon black tank. But you can fill this up and then you can haul it off and then go to a dump station. There are dump stations all over the place, RV parks. A couple rest areas not too far away actually have dump stations that you can use. And then if you know somebody nearby that has an RV dump, you can use that as well. But that's pretty much how I'm handling sewage. Now, as for cooking, I bought a Blackstone last month on clearance because summer was ending, so that was a nice deal to get. And then I have the new barbecue that just came last week, so now I can grill a little bit more as long as the weather is cooperating. I'll probably move everything to that big canopy tent. That way I can still cook in there even when it's raining. Now, I'm trying to think of what some of the other questions are that I have gotten. We do get propane. I have to go and get those tanks filled up for everything, the trailers, all of that. Now that it's getting colder, the heater is running a lot more. Another really big issue living like this is dealing with the moisture. It's really rough in the trailer. You got to deal with mold and mildew if you're not careful. dehumidifiers are your best friend, and a lot of moisture absorbers. As for bringing water in, I go and buy a bunch of gallons every week just for drinking. Hopefully here in the next week or two, we'll actually have water running on the property. They just did the draw for it, so I'm hoping next week. Now for water, for everything else, I do have to go and get that filled up in bladders. Luckily, I do have an ex that lives 3 miles away that still likes me, and she lets me come and get water every week. I do have a large, I think this is 140 gallon, 137, something like that. I need to get it out of the rain. It's getting all dirty out here. I gotta go get water here in a couple days. But I will go, I'll put this in the back of the truck, I'll fill it up, and then I'll bring it back. And then I use this smaller bladder in a cart, and I'll fill this up, go and empty it into the tank, come back, fill it up, go empty it in the tank, and keep going until I have it all used. And it actually works really well. I use a little siphon pump, a little like gas one that's battery operated, and it works great. Oh, and I also have this new carport that I just put together. It's just a temporary thing, so I can put my equipment in there and keep it out of the rain. And right now I just have a couple things in here. I need to get like a floor built so everything's up off the ground, especially with all this wet mud and stuff. But at least it's not being rained on for now. So yeah, that's kind of the update of everything that's going on and how I am living and doing things. There's probably a few things that I'm kind of missing. I'm trying to mostly answer the questions that I get asked by people because they want to know how I'm doing stuff. This is definitely not an ideal long-term situation, and I hope that it's going to change here pretty soon. Now that the house is going to be here hopefully next week, and then they have to do all the joining, they have to do the carpeting, everything else. There's still a lot more to that as well because they got to trench up like 600 feet or so all the way down for the water, and then we got a trench from the other road up for like power and stuff, and that's like 300 feet for that one. And then of course they have to do the septic system, the drain field. There's still a lot left to do, but things are finally moving, and I just can't wait. As for shopping, the closest major cities are like Olympia, which is well over an hour away, and then we have Astoria down in Oregon, which is another hour away. I'm kind of smacked in between. And then Seattle is like closer to 2.5, 3 hours away. I like to stay away from that area. I hate that area. I prefer to be out here, just left alone. Part of the time it's wet, it's cold, it's miserable, but I still wouldn't change a thing. I love it out here. And my truck just kicked on, powering everything. I do own 2 smaller generator inverters that I got when I first got to the property, but I have found that my truck is far more efficient and a lot easier to power everything. You can tell that it's kind of chilly out here with just the steam coming off of that. I don't have a house yet, but I'm still trying to decorate. Halloween is actually one of my favorite holidays, always has been, and I can't wait to have like a full setup display eventually. But anyway, I just wanted to do a quick updated video, answer some more questions, let you guys know the process that everything's happening, especially for those that are looking to do something similar. I know that there are a lot of people that want to do a homestead. They want to get a manufactured home, and it is a lot of work. There is a lot behind it that a lot of people don't realize, that I didn't realize, and it can be very stressful. Anyway, any further questions, definitely ask away. I will answer the best I can in follow-up videos. Hopefully next week I'll do a follow-up when they're delivering the house. I want to try to record that actually because I'm curious how they do the whole process and bringing it in. So I'm going to try and capture some of that the best I can and then share some of that as well. And then as they work on things, whether it's the septic and drain field or the trenching and running stuff, I'll try and get some snaps of that and clips as well. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you are interested in this stuff, definitely give a follow. Like I've said in previous videos, I plan on a lot of gardens. I'm going to start an orchard. I'm going to try and be self-sufficient as much as I can with this property. Hopefully in the future, actually even profit with it. I want to grow things for like local businesses, local community. We do have different restaurants or inns nearby within a few miles if I can actually get some partnerships with some of them. Overall, I just have a lot of ideas, a lot of projects, and a lot of things to do. We'll see what happens, but I am excited. We're finally getting somewhere. I still need a tractor. That's what's really slowing me down with a lot of this stuff. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.